The ute market has seen exceptional growth over the past 10 years in Australia, driven by both business and recreational users. The ute is no longer just a workhorse. They are bought as multi-purpose vehicles that meet the demands of work, family and recreation, as well as being safe, comfortable and easy to drive. LDV is now entering this major market sector with the T60, built to take on the best equipped and priced as only LDV knows how. The T60 is the first of a new generation from LDV and heralds a wave of new SUVs, vans and people movers. Let's start with some highlights of the T60 4x4 dual cab range, which comes in two variants, Pro and Luxe. The LDV T60 is built to new safety standards with a full raft of the latest safety features, setting a new benchmark for Chinese vehicles. It also has the latest technology, including a 10-inch colour touchscreen, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, blind spot monitoring, reverse camera, and an adaptive front lighting system. Power comes from a beefy 2.8-litre turbo diesel engine with a choice of both manual and automatic transmissions. This enables the T60 to offer a 3-ton towing capacity, vital for both the working tradie and the weekend warrior. When it comes to dimensions, the LDV T60 is big in all the right places. It has the muscular good looks now demanded by ute buyers in Australia. It has a real presence on the road, not to mention on the beach, the building site, or in the bush. All this ability is backed with a 5-year, 130,000 kilometre warranty, another first for LDV. As well as the usual 24/7 roadside assist, there is a loan car program included in the warranty. Needless to say, it all comes at an exceptional price. Let's get into some more detail. The LDV T60 ute is powered by a 2.8-litre intercooled turbo diesel. It boasts 110 kilowatts and 360 newton meters of torque. The extremely flat torque curve, achieving maximum torque at only 1600 RPM and maintaining torque through the maximum power phase, makes this a very flexible engine that works hard across a wide range of uses, especially in low gear operation. It has a combined fuel consumption figure of 8.8 litres per 100 kilometres for the manual and 9.6 litres per 100 kilometres for the automatic. The T60 has a choice of manual or automatic gearboxes, both 6-speed, both with electronic 4-wheel drive selection with low range. To enhance the 4-wheel drive proficiency, the Luxe is fitted with a rear differential lock as standard. With a full ladder chassis, that robust turbo diesel engine and choice of transmissions, the T60 will tow a braked load of up to 3 tons with a tow ball download of 300 kilos. This will tow most boats, caravans, trailers and work equipment across town or across the country. Over the past 10 years, dual cab utes have got larger and larger. The LDV T60 is right up there with the exterior, interior and tub dimensions now demanded by ute buyers. The LDV T60 is within millimetres of the biggest utes in class, so it's big where it matters, with loads of functional, easy-to-access space. The LDV T60 is loaded with useful features, many of which are expensive options on other utes. We're talking 17-inch alloys, and that includes the full-size spare wheel, hard-wearing plastic tub liner, LED headlights, automatic light-sensitive headlamps, front and rear fog lamps, side steps, numerous load tie-down hooks and heated side mirrors for the tradies who head off to work well before dawn in frosty conditions. Function and convenience are wherever you look. The LDV T60 meets all the style demands with a bold, muscular design. But it's not just all about looks. The LDV T60 has been designed from the very start to meet the highest safety standards in the world. It has the full array of passive and active safety features to meet this exacting requirement, enabling it to offer the highest level of protection for its users. There are 6 airbags, front passenger and passenger side airbags, and roof curtain airbags on both sides extend to the rear passenger compartment area. Itself a safety cell surrounded by an impact-absorbing structure. It has electronic vehicle stability control, rollover movement intervention, hill descent control, as well as hill start assist. It has ABS, EBD, and electronic brake assist, driver fatigue monitoring, tyre pressure sensors, reversing camera and rear parking sensors. There are top tether and ISOFIX child seat restraint anchor points for the rear seat, and a lap sash seatbelt for the center rear seat to ensure all occupants are fully and correctly restrained. It also has cruise control across the range to help avoid the dangers of speeding. The most visible indicator of the new technology that flows through the T60 is the massive 10-inch full-screen touchscreen that dominates the center console. This is the control panel for a whole raft of driving and entertainment applications. It's the screen used with the reversing camera. It controls audio settings as well as the standard Bluetooth. The climate control system, which is standard on the T60 Lux, along with also the Apple CarPlay and the Android Auto systems standard on both models, are controlled by this impressive screen. Apple CarPlay and the Android Auto are the safest way to use the features on your mobile phone whilst driving, and it displays maps and phone functions on this massive 10-inch screen display. Quality, hard-wearing, comfortable cloth-trimmed seating is standard on the T60 Pro, while the Lux is trimmed in leather, with heated and power-operated front seats, with a 6-way adjustment mechanism. The steering wheel is height adjustable, with the Lux model also receiving a leather-bound steering wheel, along with smart key functions and climate control air conditioning. With this level of equipment, this safety benchmark, the technology, the style and ability, it would be fair to think that the LDV T60 will also be priced at the same level as other key players in the market. Perhaps this is where the T60 will surprise the motoring public the most. The LDV T60 range opens in Australia for $28,990 drive away in the Pro, and the Lux starts at just $32,990 drive away. So there you have the LDV T60 in a nutshell. Performance, safety, style, ability, features, and all at a fantastic price. Proof that sometimes you can have it all.
With the local launch of the LDV T60, the Chinese auto giant SAIC is making a big play for Australia's booming ute segment. But is the company's first dual-cab 4x4 good enough to mix it with the established players? Ultra-competitive pricing loaded with tech and kit as standard. Decent off-road manners. Nicely appointed interior. A little underdone in terms of power outputs. A lot, like a lot, of wind noise in the cabin. Manual gearbox is a touch slushy. While Australia is waiting patiently for the arrival of the Mercedes-Benz X-Class, ostensibly the first luxury dual-cab ute onto our shores, another entrant in the booming ute segment, albeit one with more working-class credentials, has arrived, and with little fanfare. Or as much flash. The LDV T60 is the first dual-cab ute from Chinese carmaker SAIC, Shanghai Automotive and Industrial Corporation, and it has launched in Australia hoping to lure buyers away from the traditional powerhouse workhorses from Toyota, Ford, Mitsubishi et al. The ute is a first for LDV, better known for producing commercial vans and people movers. But with dual cabs rocketing up the sales charts, the time is right for the company to expand into this lucrative segment. And it has arrived without fireworks, but with a lot of promise. Forget what you think you know about Chinese designed and built cars. With the T60, the goalposts have been shifted. It's not a seismic shift, mind, but there is a definite move up the production chain that signals better quality and better features than what we have previously come to expect from that country's burgeoning car industry. Is the T60 a game changer? Probably not in this iteration, but the signs point to a sleeping giant waiting for the first rays of sunlight to hit its face and stir from a long slumber. Launched locally last week, the LDV T60 enters the hot Aussie dual cab segment with just two models, Pro and Lux, each aimed at a specific type of customer. The T60 Pro is unashamedly aimed at tradies, farmers, and work sites, while the Lux makes no bones about its play for the lifestyle ute buyer. The good news for potential buyers of either, both come loaded with standard gear that are cost options on many of the established players in the segment. But perhaps the T60's most compelling argument is its pricing. Starting at $28,990 drive away, for ABN holders, regular folk pay $30,516 drive away. For the T60 Pro, the range tops out at the looks, which ABN holders can drive away for $34,990, $36,831 for us regular folk. That's some pretty sharp pricing, but is it enough to lure buyers away from the more traditional offerings of the established players? Let's take a look. As already stated, just two models complete the T60 range, Pro and Lux. Both are four-wheel driven and both are available with a choice of manual or automatic transmission. And both are loaded with equipment and safety tech, often optional in rivals. Standard across both Pro and Lux models, a rear view camera, rear parking sensors, blind spot monitoring, adaptive headlights, auto LED headlights, auto wipers, multifunction steering wheel, cruise control, a 10.0-inch touchscreen media system with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, Bluetooth phone and audio streaming, two USB ports, tub liner, side steps, heated door mirrors, hill descent control, hill start assist, remote central locking, tire pressure monitoring, and 17-inch alloy wheels with full-size spare. The Lux scores additional goodies such as smart key, keyless entry, auto folding side mirrors, leather-trimmed steering wheel, leather seats, electric front seat adjustment, heated front seats, climate control air conditioning, electronic rear differential lock, and a sports bar. Helping the T60 achieve its recent 5-star NCAP rating are 5 lap sash seat belts, 6 airbags, dual front side, full-length curtain, ABS, and electronic stability control. There are also ISOFIX and top tether child seat points. For prospective ute buyers, that's plenty of food for thought. Powering both models is a 2.8-liter 4-cylinder turbo diesel, with 110 kilowatts of power, at 3,400 RPM, and 360 nanometers of torque, between 1600-2800 RPM. If those numbers seem miserly, it's because they are. On the road, the T60 in Lux form is surprisingly quiet. There is distinct clatter from the diesel unit out front, but it is muted. So too is tire roar. What is a letdown, is wind noise. There's a lot of it. That said, everything else about the driving experience is, well, okay. The steering is direct, if a little light on for feel, while the softer suspension tune of the Lux, the Pro model has a firmer tune to suit its workhorse aspirations, means the T60 is a fairly comfortable, if wobbly, highway cruiser. Not so comfortable are those power outputs. At the lower end of the spectrum for the segment, they combine to give the T60 a breathless experience. Getting up to highway speed takes time, and if you want to execute an overtake, plan well in advance, as rolling response is, let's just say, anemic. This was especially evident in the manual variant we have on test. Trying to squeeze the maximum torque and power out of the 2.8-liter turbo diesel, it's not long before you're nudging the 3,800 RPM red line, but with little to show for it apart from a groaning engine begging to be eased back. The manual box is, at best, vague with long, willowy throws and a distinct lack of tactility. And because of the low rev band and modest power outputs, you'll find yourself shuffling up and down through the gears. A lot. And not in a fun way. But then, this isn't a manual BMW M3 or even a Mazda MX-5. We suspect the 6-speed auto may be the better option on the road. Dynamically, well, it's a ute. Mid-corner ruts and imperfections unsettle the rear end, but not alarmingly so, while a short stint on gravel highlights the tail-happy nature of the T60. Our test car was, of course, unladen. With a full load in the back, the LDV's handling could well improve, so we'll reserve full judgment until we get one through the car advice garage for a week. Speaking of load, here are some crucial T60 numbers. Payload varies depending on model and drivetrain. The Pro, on its heavy-duty suspension, can carry 1,025 kilograms, manual, or 995 kilograms, auto. The lifestyle-focused looks riding on a softer suspension can carry 875 kilograms in manual trim and 815 kilograms, auto. The T60's tow rating is 3,000 kilograms braked, or 750 kilograms unbraked with a downball rating of 300 kilograms. The combined gross vehicle mass is 6,050 kilograms. Outstanding numbers? Definitely not, but they're close to par with the segment. Look, on the road, the LDV T60 in looks guys is exactly what it says on the box. It's not particularly good at any one thing, but neither is it terrible. Where, however, the T60 showed some spark of life was when I hopped into the workmanlike Pro for a stint of reasonably tricky off-roading and paddock bashing. This time with the 6-speed auto doing the hard work of extracting maximum torque and power from the diesel under the bonnet, the T60 Pro proved adept at handling some pretty gnarly terrain. Rocky tracks were swept aside with ease, while long, uphill climbs through little more than long grass also showed the Pro's chops as a decent workhorse. Switching to 4WD low in the dial, you can switch between 2H, 4H, and 4L. The T60 was never flustered or left floundering. Hill descent worked a treat too, doing the hard work of modulating your speed while descending what was a reasonably steep decline over grass and rocks. No complaints there. The firmer suspension, courtesy of a leaf setup at the back, did a reasonable job too of keeping the Pro on track, despite being unladen for this test. Is it great? No. Is it a perfectly acceptable runabout for farmers and tradies more concerned with sure-footedness and an unflustered driving experience? You bet. And with a starting price of $28,000, the LDV T60 looks an attractive and affordable proposition for those wanting the ruggedness of a dual-cab ute but without the $40K plus budget at their disposal. LDV is pretty confident the T60 will find its place in the Australian ute segment, which accounts for around 14% of all new car sales in Australia so far this year. LDV is hoping to snare around 5% of that market with this, its first foray into the dual cab segment. And to provide some surety for customers, the LDV T60 range comes with a 5-year/130,000 km warranty with roadside assist. The LDV T60 isn't a bad first effort for the Chinese automotive giant. Incidentally, SAIC is the 41st largest corporation in the world, while the LDV brand is associated with building vans and commercial vehicles since 1896, so it's no Johnny-come-lately. Is the T60 enough to have Toyota, Mitsubishi, Nissan, Ford, and the rest of the segment leaders looking over their shoulders? Maybe. LDV has delivered a decent package, if not a great one. And with that ultra-competitive circa $28,000 entry point, the company may have done enough to lure some buyers away from the more established brands.